This is This Week in the Aries Fight Series. Normally I do these on Sunday. Today I'm going to drop this on Tuesday to remind you in 2 weeks on October the 10th, my man Torrez Finney takes on Dana White Contender Series. Torrez, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing really good, Kyle. Thankful for having me on the show, man. I'm excited.
So this is a moment that has been building for a while. We knew that, your place was with the UFC. It's been amazing to watch your career build. I think we were just always like, when's it going to happen? We thought that, after the Caleb Crump fight, I told you how legit how I think legit Caleb is. You know how legit Caleb is. I feel like that was a win that would propel you to that stage. You needed another fight. You got it at the underground, and now's your moment. How do you feel about the journey so far?
Well, man, I'm blessed and thankful for the journey. You know, a lot of people, including me, sometimes we look at certain things and sometimes we say, well, man, I deserve. I got some of my teeth. I deserve to be there. I deserve to be in that spot, but sometimes you have to enjoy the journey, because the journey would allow you to get to whatever spot you're getting to and being prepared and ready for it. And man, I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for everything that Aries has done for me, everything Tim, Lloyd, and Jeff Hobbs have done for me, man, because from the beginning, I told Tim, I messaged him a long time ago, not too long ago, I texted you. I said, Tim, you got to fight. This was me as an amateur. I was still playing college football. I was like, man, can you find me a fight? I'm trying to get on a card. And we was trying to get on the Chattanooga card in September of 2020, but he couldn't find me nobody. So he got me on October, and I was fighting against this guy named Antonio Holt. And man, it's just been that way ever since. And I've been with Tim and Jeff. I've been with Tim and Jeff my whole career, basically. I know I got 2 fights outside of them, but it's been with them the whole time, and I'm just so thankful for the entire journey. I always put at the end of my posts when I get done, with any fight, I'm like, the journey continues, and the journey is going to continue for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing watching it. I haven't been with Aries, not since the beginning of your career. However, kind of coming midway, I've got to enjoy watching back at your fights, watching, the fights that you've had since I've been there. You definitely are the face of the promotion. You've always been well spoken. You're definitely the guy that, if we were gonna put anybody out there on a news station or somebody to represent us, it's always Torrez Finney. And yeah, dude, you've been the best. So let's talk about this fight. Yuri, I can't even say his last name. I'm such a
Panferov.
Okay, yeah. He does have a Russian name, and I'm not trying to talk trash at all. I listened to a few interviews. He has no accent. It's really strange and bizarre.
Yeah, he's from. Look, like I said, he moved to Connecticut when he was 11 and 12 years old. Probably even later than that, and earlier than that. But he grew up in Connecticut, and nothing against Northerners, but he acts. I can tell he acts like a Northern guy. People up north, I can tell from the way he talks, he probably acts like that as well. So it's just different. But yeah, he's from Russia, and I know a lot of people atone with, they make that connection. Oh, Russian, that means he's a wrestler. But actually he's not. He's done a lot of jiu-jitsu. He grapples a lot, especially in his fights, but it's all been jiu-jitsu based. He's not the Dagestani wrestler you see from like a Habib, Islam, Hazmat, those guys. It's not that. He's a standard guy that just learned jiu-jitsu, got really good at jiu-jitsu. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and then, he's been doing a lot of striking. He actually started striking first. So he did a few boxing matches and a few Muay Thai bouts, but no wrestling background, but he does have a grappling background. So
yeah, so the similarities we're talking about in the numbers, both you guys are 6-0 as professionals. Also both on a win streak, never tasted defeat, 11-0, right?
Yeah.
However, you have fought some, I'd say, tougher competition. Just knowing from being on the side of trying to be a headhunter and finding matchups for you, it's not a nightmare. Nobody wants to fight Torrez Finney. Uh, so coming in, do you think you are the guy that is that way and he's portraying the guy that is that way? I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to stir anything up, but it just kind of feels that way in a way. The similarities end with those numbers and knowing you, because I know you, it's you're the beast. Everybody that talks about you in the gym is like, oh man, grapple with Finney is it's crazy, I know you are that guy. I'm just not sure if he is that guy. We'll find out, October 10th, I guess.
Well, look, I'll say this. He's never cut the 185 before. So I think I'm not going to say it's lazy or anything, but what I am going to say is, consistently staying at 205 for your whole pro career, knowing in the back of your head, you're going to be dropping down eventually, for him not to have taken that chance. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of good competition, not only at 205, but there's some good competition at 185 that I know for a fact he could have found. But it's what the type of things up there in their promotions they do. They do a lot of that build record, very boxing-esque. But you ask the question, how many guys come out of that area? And it's not a lot. You got Calvin Cater, I know one. Nick Fiore. That's about it. It ain't many. It's literally not. You can literally count on a handful how many guys come from that New England-based area of how good their MMA is, and it's just not a lot. And
yeah,
I just don't think, because they don't test themselves. And this is the thing with me. It's not only me testing myself in a fight, because I have, Ivan Batnich. I talked about with Tim. Wes McCracken in my pro debut. I know his record was 1-3. But if anybody actually did some research and studied on Wes McCracken, Wes was tough because he not only trained at AKA, he also trained at Stephen Wonder Boys. Ray Thompson was in his corner when he came to the fight. Him and Weston Wilson, who's also in the UFC. Wes McCracken, 2 of his losses, he was winning. He literally won. He was winning the fight. They had to stop the fight when he goes back to the corner. They stopped it because he got a cut. He just had bad scar tissue. Literally, both fights. There's 2 fights he lost. Now, one he did get finished, but that was it. I mean, he was beating the guys he was fighting, and they just had to stop it because of a cut. He's actually a legit guy. Then, I know my Jake Zog, I don't really count that one too much, but a lot of circumstances happened that where we had to find somebody. And then Justin Dorsey, he's okay. But then Ivan Batnich, Ivan trained with Luke Rockhold, trained with DC, trained with all those guys, AKA 5-1. Beat him, and I beat him early in my career because, to be honest, my management team didn't want me to take that fight. They really didn't. They was, I don't know, man. Short enough because I took him. It took Icon forever to find me a fight. They were trying to find me one, and then they finally found him, and I didn't get him until about 4 or 3 weeks out. And
great fight. Dominating fight.
Yeah, and look, and he wrestled. He wrestled in college, and like I said, look where he trained at. And kickboxing, and then Crump. And then I know LJ wasn't up to the task of what I was able to bring, but he comes from a respectable gym. But it's just, I feel like when he has fought nothing but pro boxers, pro Muay Thai fighters, different things of that scale, it makes the fight, look a little different. He's able to take all those guys down. And he does really good with the jiu-jitsu. I know he has a long, extensive background in jiu-jitsu. I just don't think he's going to be able to be ready for what I'm able to bring to the table. He's a good opponent. He's going, undefeated. Look, you're undefeated in this game. Getting wins in this game is hard to do. But he's never seen nothing like me before, and I'm confident I'm going to be able to go in there and get the job done and get it done excellently.
Yeah. Hey, 2 things. I want to I noticed the name you mentioned, Weston Wilson, shout out. I've worked with that dude before. He's a really good guy, man.
Yeah.
He runs that Combat Cast.
That's right.
Yeah, good people, man. Also, so this is his first time to go at 185?
First ever time. Never make the cut ever. So after the Dana White looking for a fight, which happened in March, where he got dropped by a guy with a losing record. That's the other thing. It's not only he's never fought, tough guy. He's never fought a guy with a winning record. I'll be the first ever guy he's fought with a winning record. That's wild, especially when you've made it this far in your career. But two, he's, he won on that show. After he won on the show, Dana has told him to, bro, he said, man, you're not a 205er. You look like a 170. It tells me how big he might actually look. But he said, I'm cutting down to 185 because of my legs and that stuff. So he's known that he's going to be cutting to 185 since March. So he's known about it. So I'm sure he's dieting. He looks, probably going to lean up, put a little. I don't think he's going to be working out a lot. He might be. I mean, I'm sure he's going to be strong. But I mean, when you're trying to cut weight, get your weight down, he might be doing different exercises and stuff of that nature. But this would be his first ever time cutting to 185, and I think that plays a little bit of fact. I think he's going to be ready. This is the biggest fight of his life as well. So he's going to be ready. He's going to be on his. I feel like I always prepare for everybody to be on their A game, so I'm expecting him to be on his A game. And but I just think it's going to play dividends to cutting the 185 for the first time. I've cut the 185 the last 3 fights, so I know how it feels. Heck, the last 4 fights, so I know how it feels to have to make that cut. And especially I know how it feels when you've done it for the first time. My first time was my last ever amateur fight. I knew I was going to be fighting at middleweight as a pro. So my last ever amateur fight, I said, we're going to go all the way. And I made that cut, felt good. And I was blessed to be able to get the guy out of there in the first rounds. And I've done the cut and went the full distance. I've done the cut, finished it in the second. I've done the cut, finished it in the third. So I finished fights in all way. I finished fights in the first, second, third, and went to a decision. So I know I can go wherever the fight goes. I don't know about him because he's won every single fight in the first round. He's never been out of the first round, and when you've never been out of the first round and you're doing it for the first time on a cut, if it does make it out of the first round, so
yeah,
I think stuff like that plays dividend.
It's that Southern gauntlet, man. I think of the guys from the South. I think of a Trayshawn Gore. I think of Christian Eccles. I think of, I'm going to claim him, Dylan Budka, because he ran the Southern Gauntlet for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He went against Derek. Budka went against Overstreet and, went against, what's the guy from Alabama? Light heavyweight. He fought him for the title.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was a main event. I worked that show.
I was there at that fight. I helped him. As crazy as it sounds, it's crazy, man. We was in the back. I was helping warm it up.
Will Sparks.
Boom. Will Sparks. I was helping warm it up Carter. And while I was helping warm it up Carter, I like to I'll shadow spar with them. I'm not touching them. I let them basically beat me up. So, I let them beat me up, take me down. I'm just throwing actual strikes his opponent would be doing. And Dylan was in the same locker room as us. And Dylan came to me. He said, "Hey man, could you do the same thing with me?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I got up, shadow spar. We felt, I felt them and stuff, and I let them take me down and simulate ground and pound and stuff. And we don't work with him in the back. And I told him, just go out there and do your thing, because I had known of him already. And I said, just go out there and take him down, man. Just go out there and take him down and do your thing, which he did. Went out there and subbed him. So, I'm proud of Dylan, man, especially all the stuff went through, especially with his dad and his mom. I'm proud of him, man. Be able to go in there and get the job done. Not only get the job done, but do it on short notice. Do it on what, 3-day notice? Like, that's crazy. So congratulations to him. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think a year ago, and I'm not trying to say I'm some prophet or anything of MMA, but I said the best middleweights weren't even in the UFC. I had you at number 1. Number 2 was Dylan Budka. Number 3, I said Christian Eccles. Christian Eccles knocks out Pat Downey.
I know, right? Literally, dude. And I just trained with Christian, man. Literally Friday, we sparred. Me and Travis Thomas and Johnny Stewart. I'm very thankful for them, the guys, to come. And I know I use it at the end, but I'm gonna say all the guys I've cross-trained with. Andrew Stewart, thankful for him to help me, give me some rounds, man, because he's actually the same exact body composition as Yuri, but more athletic. I'm telling you, man, Andrew is more athletic than Yuri, in my opinion. And he can, I mean, he 2024 is Andrew Stewart's year. He needs to get ready to turn pro, start rattling off those wins because he's going to be right there. Thankful for the rounds with Andrew. Thankful for the rounds with Travis Thomas. He's helped me out a lot. Then the round I only had one round with him, but I went with Christian Eccles this past week, and then Johnny Stewart. And then all the guys at Fusion, and I just been so blessed, and all the guys at Rush MMA and Cole Miller's when I went back home to Macon. So I with a Moon Cosme and Quentin Culpepper and Homer Mangram and all those boys. So it's like I've been so blessed to be able to have multiple really good rounds, and everybody been helping me out, man. And good rounds. It's different when you're training. You can train with certain guys and be like, well, I'm just gonna, I'm the big fish in the pond. I'm just gonna mile up these guys. It's different when you have to you got to compete. You got to go after it. If you come in here and have an off round, this guy's gonna get you. And that's what I like to have. I like to have that consistent. I wish we could train with these guys all the time. But I have to set up only sparring sessions for these guys, and then the 10 round sparring day I had with the Joneses. Tyler Jones and Travis. And yeah. Yeah, I know, man. But look, I loved it, man, and it made me better, man. And all the guys to help me out. And Garrett Gross, man. Garrett, my main training partner, man. He came with me to Fusion, helped me out. There, helped watching me whenever I got tips. I trained with Rodolfo Vieira, middleweight in the UFC, multiple time world champion in BJJ. Was able to grapple with him, and look. If I can grapple with him, man, I can show enough grapple with Yuri, and Rodolfo's phenomenal, man. Gave me so many great tips. Gave me tips in words and lessons on the mat. So I learned a lot of things from him. Phil Rowe, who's also in the UFC, learned a lot of great things from him. Val Woodburn, who's also in the UFC, learned a lot of great things from him. We had a lot of really great sparring rounds. Mike Davis, who's also in the UFC, went with him. Just learned a lot of good things. Bubba Sheffield, who's 7-0 as a 170 pounder, but he's going to be going to the UFC. He'll be getting I think he's already on the verge of getting a call. They're supposed to be trying to call him soon anyway. Oh. But I went with him, All-American from West Virginia, wrestler. Went with him, was able to have great rounds with him. Alton Meats, heavyweight wrestler on the Olympic team. So I made sure this camp, and I'm just naming off some. I made sure this camp was me ready because I didn't want to leave no stones unturned. I'm pushing my cardio. I'm working the hardest I ever worked for a fight. And it's not because of this fight, but it's because it's the next fight. You want to work harder than what you did the fight before. You always want to continue to improve. And I felt like I have been continuing to improve. I've gotten better as a striker. I've gotten better as a grappler. I've gotten my cardio better. I feel like I'm ready, man. And I just, my main thing is go in there and make sure I'm healthy. I feel like I go in there and just do me. I tell this to every fight, but the fight, nothing changes. Go in there and I just do me. I'm 100% confident I will go out in there and I will have my hand raised and I will have my contract.
Yeah, man, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. One quick name. You mentioned Andrew Stewart. Thank you to Zane Burton for being such a good guy and bridging the gap between Agogi combatives.
Yeah. Look, it's still a little respect there, man. It's respect there for sure. The little look. Anytime you got a little crosstown rival, it's like high school football, man. You got that crosstown rival. You can hang out with them. You can dab them up. Heck, you can probably do 7-on-7 with each other outside of camp, outside of off season. But when you get in the season, we're coming after you. So that's how it is with us in Nashville. I respect them a lot. Definitely, I've already told their coach Dustin Ortiz and Andrew. They need me for any camp. I'm down. I'm going to come. I'm going to work with all of their guys. I'm down. They help me. I help them. And if any tips, I'm not this type of guy that, because I'm here or wherever in my life, I'm not going to learn anything from you. I'll try to learn things from Andrew. I'll try to learn things from, heck, if there's an amateur boxer here, okay, show me what you think of this. I learn from everybody. So you got to always stay open that way. I know my game and what I'm able to do here, but I'm never going to be the type of guy to I ain't listening to you. No, I'm open because heck, you'll be surprised on what techniques certain people know and can do. And they might not be able to implement them in certain places, but they're really good at explaining and teaching, and you can be able to implement it in your game. So, you just got to, I'm just open-minded like that.
The funny story was with Zane and Andrew when they were about to fight. I remember at the weigh-ins, Andrew came up to me and he said, "Man, I messed up. I did it, Kyle." And I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "You told me not to talk to Zane, that I would like him." He said, "I talked to Zane before the fight, and now he's over there talking to my kids about going fishing." Like,
Oh Lord, I thought see this.
I said, "I
This
told
boy
you,
here.
don't talk to Zane before the fight. You'll end up liking him. It'll make this fight so much harder, brother."
You will like him. I'm about to say he's cool and calm and collected, man. And Zane is one of the most coolest and calmest guys to step in the cage that I've ever met. Like he don't, it's like he's not even fighting. Like, Zane just walks in there and ready to go, man. So definitely and thankful for him and Josh Booker for helping me out throughout this camp as well.
Yeah, what great guys, man. Well, brother, you want to? We could talk forever.
Oh,
Uh,
we could. Oh, I'm down. Look, hey, we can go. Hey, we can go.
do you want to give a shout out to your sponsors real quick?
Yes, I want to thank all of Agogi. Well, first, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for allowing me to even be in this spotlight, man. I'm just a small soldier in His army to be able to portray to the world that hey, Jesus is Lord, and I'm just thankful. I'm really thankful. You talk about how fast this has went. It is fast, man. This is year 3 for me. Year 3, not just me as a pro. This is year 3 for me as fighting MMA overall. This is only my second year as a pro. So I it's fast. I would never expected this. I'm only 24 years old. I'm about to turn 25, but if you would have told me 3 years ago when I got done graduating college, you're about to be fighting in front of the world on ESPN Plus for a UFC contract, you could have told me this, man. You could have told me this, man. And I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed and honored. But I feel like I get to show me being blessed and honored by me putting on the best performance possible and grinding as hard as I can to make sure I do that. But I want to thank all of Agogi. Agogi has helped me out so much, man. They're a blessing. Thank God I found them, man. And thank God they put us together. I'll never forget the first day I walked into that gym. I had some guys at the boxing gym that said, "Hey, man, come to this gym called Agogi." And I was like, I don't know about no jiu-jitsu, but I'll see. I'll try it out. And I went, and it stuck with me, man. I met Larry, met Matt, I met Sterling. The whole crew, Stacy, man. It's just, and I sit here thinking about it. It's like these guys that just, pour into you, and it's different, and I definitely want to give back as much as possible to them. They pour so much into me without, ever like, there's no such thing as a payback with them, man. You like, man, I gotta find a way to pay you back something. Like, no, don't worry about it. Like it just it's so much of, but there's really good people. Robert White, he's another one, man. He's so much of a blessing. He helps us a lot, especially when we go and travel with me and Trevor, and we go and travel and fight. And he's so much of a blessing on getting us different places and lodges to stay at, houses to stay at, and making sure we're feeling great, man. He was like, you feel good, sleep good, you fight good. So hey, we're gonna make sure of that. And then Johnny Jones, man. Johnny has been so much of a blessing to us, man. Him coming here to our gym and just helping us out a lot, man. A lot of good tips. He's helped me out a lot on the cross training, being able to get these different type of partners, helping me out in tips because he used to box as well. So he gave me a lot of great tips. Come to the sparring session. It's different when these guys are like sponsors and they're like, "Hey, I sponsor you." Good. And they don't see none of the training camp. These guys sponsor and come to the sparring sessions. These guys sponsor and come to the training, like what we do. I respect that. I love that so much for them. Ray Kozowski for Scenic City Solar. Thank you for sponsoring me as well. And just everybody just helped me out. All my family, I thank them a lot. But thankful for them, all the believing in me and staying with me, especially when I let go of my job at FedEx in 2021. Well, I didn't let go; they let me go, but they had let me go, and I was like, man, but my granddad had told me something that like, look, you're going all in. He's like, look, you only get this one chance. He's like, can't straddle the fence. You gotta be all in, all out. And I was like, well, I'm going full. I went full time as a fighter, as an amateur, and I went all in. And man, to this day, it's still one of the best decisions I ever made to me in my life. To fully go all in. And October 10th, I'm going to show the world. The reason why I went all in.
Yes. Been a phenomenal journey to watch, brother. Thank you for being a friend. Uh, Being able to work with you has been a true blessing. You're one of the guys that I root for, and
Thank
I just cannot wait to see you get that contract on October 10th. Guys, do not forget, tune in on ESPN Plus Dana White Contender Series. Torrez Finney gets his shot at a UFC contract, number 2 from the Gogi family.
That's
Uh,
right, baby. That's right.
Air,
Let's do it,
Air,
man. Let's
yeah,
do it. We're
let's
gonna get that job though. Let's do it, man. I can't wait. And look, oh, also special month for Gogi, man. All of October. I mean, I'm not going to be announcing anybody else fight, but we got a few guys besides me and Trevor. They're fighting. So, but yeah, I know I'm fighting. I know it's been announced, but Trevor's going to be going to Abu Dhabi October 21st. So, I mean, this is one of the biggest months for us as an MMA gym. And, um, man, it's special. It start off with me, so I got to go in there and get the job done. And then Trevor gets it, and we got a few more guys behind him. So it's going to be good, man. It's going to be special.
Yeah, man. Just it's almost full circle for you to be at the Apex October 10th and then for Trevor to go to Fight Island, you
I know.
know.
I know, dude. And I'm so happy, blessed to be able to go with the man to you know, and go with him on that journey, man. I've been with Trevor since he came ever since he was getting ready to fight David Robbins. And I never forget, a lot of people didn't give him a shot for some reason. I don't know. I sparred with Trevor the week before that fight, and I said, this guy's gonna kill this David Robbins. He's gonna kill this man.
Yeah, hey, there's a betting service that's no longer in business because of that.
Exactly. Like, bro, that and when they made him the underdog against Karma. Yeah, like, what'd you think? Y'all didn't learn for the first time? Y'all didn't learn from day one? Like, this Joker here, boy. Like, I'm like, I just knew he was something special and something different. And me and Trevor's had so many phenomenal rounds. I mean, I can't even count them today. We don't have so many rounds. So I always am very thankful for Trevor. Like I am blessed that God has brought him here into my life as well, because day one, I mean, when he came and started training with us and then eventually made the full transition that he's going to be training here and start living here at the gym and things of that nature. Um, we've been on this journey together, like he coming to Vegas with me. Heck, he went with Vegas with me when I had to do the photo shoot, and I went to Vegas with him when he got ready his fight UFC debut, and we just been in this journey together, man. And you would think, two people from two different spectrums of life, how we were grown up and raised, and different things in life we had to go through, but man, and for us to come together and we be right here in this one sport, that's just what makes MMA so phenomenal. We're right there together, and we got heart and love for each other. So I'm so excited for Trevor. I can't wait for his fight against Muhammad Yahya. So that's gonna be phenomenal, and I'm ready for him, man. I'm ready.
Yeah. And two, I want to do a quick shout out. Any sponsors out there that want two guys to represent your brand, uh, there are no better guys than Torrez the Punisher Finney and Trevor Peak. These guys are well spoken, great guys. They don't just say, they don't just pretend to live this way. They very disciplined people, and they would represent your brand very well. So get with them, DM them if you want to help support these guys in their journey, UFC journeys. Dude, I'm so excited for you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much, man. Look, I'm pumped and ready to go. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wished I was fighting tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. I just these next 2 weeks just gonna be cardio, staying healthy, a lot of drilling, but I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. This is my opportunity, and I've been doubted ever since I was young. Too short, not big enough. I've had to hear it all, man. This is This is me getting a chance to release everything people have said that I couldn't do, to be able to right here in front of the world. I told you so. And it's not about me telling them so, it's about proving myself right, because I knew I could do it.
Yeah. Well, brother, thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, we could talk forever, but I better cut it. Well, brother, thank you again for your time. Guys,
Thank you.
check it out. Tuesday, October 10th, Torrez Finney Contender Series.
Yes, sir. Thank
See
you.
you, bro. I'm doing the sponsorship shout outs in my new Lance Chandler Green merch. Lance Chandler Green, always starting fights. You can get it at millions.com. Check it out. New sweatshirt, new hat. Also, sponsorship shout out to Keep Going Official. They have 9 premium supplements that you can find at their website. This company was started a little over 2 years ago due to suicide awareness. The owner and operator of the company wanted to start a company to help athletes keep going, help them in times of need. A great company, supports a lot of fighters on the regional scene. Keep Going Official, great message. And Warrior Home Improvements. Greg Hopkins, one of my favorite fighters on the regional scene of all time. Greg started this company. He can help you out with your roof. If you need a parking lot surfaced, or if you needed lines painted on a parking lot, fences, anything, give my man Greg Hopkins a call and he can get you squared away. This is the Aries Fight Series. The future fights here.